Hey guys, so today we will going to learn about the web workers in JavaScript. So let's say there are so JavaScript is a single-threaded asynchronous language, right? It has only one single main thread. So any operations which goes right, so it will block the main thread, and if there is any other heavy operation and any other operation, right, it won't carry on if one operation is already on. Like if the main thread is occupied, you cannot, like, the main thread cannot work for other operations, right? Just for example, let's say like there is a button which changes the background like immediately, right? When you click on change background, it changes the background, right? And there is one button which says like run heavy computation, and which basically runs like, let's say, calculate the sum of 10,000 or 1 lakhs number, right? So as soon as you click on that button, right, this is a synchronous operation, right? So the main thread will be occupied for, let's say, 2 3 seconds if that operation takes that many seconds, right? And as soon as if you try to click on change background will not happen because the UI is freezed, because the main thread is occupied. You cannot basically do anything. So that is where the web workers help us basically achieve parallelism. If there is any blocking operation which takes a long time, which blocks the main thread, we basically delegate that particular task to the web worker, so that it runs parallel to the actual main thread, right? That is the whole concept of web worker. Let me show you with some code examples so that things will be clear to you. We will take the same code example, like we will have one button for change background and one button for run heavy computations, and then we'll see like how things work. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is an HTML file. Let me run this. So let me add a button here. This will say like basically change background, change background. Okay, and let me add another button which will say uh, run heavy task. Okay, these are the two buttons, and let me add a function which will be triggered when we click on change background, on change on click, and let's say change background, right? And for heavy calculation, we will run another event which will heavy task. Great. Okay. So we will create the listeners for those events. One is like function change background, right? And here we will find the color, which is like document dot get document dot body dot style dot background color, right? And then if we see like if color is, let's say, green, right? And then what we will do, we will change the color to red. uh, Else we will change the color to green, right? So when I click on this change background color, basically it changes color from green to red and vice versa, right? It happens immediately because let me explain. Like as soon as you click on this, right, change background event will be function will be triggered, and then it checks if the color is green. This main thread is running that code, right? And then basically it switches the color from red to green and green to red, because there is only one single thread which is running, and that it is not a heavy operation, right? So it happens very smoothly, right? But let's see if I try to run a heavy operation in this and then try to start clicking on this, this will block unless this heavy operation is completed. Right, let me show that. So I will add this heavy task function as well. Okay, so heavy task, or basically let's say I will run a for loop for what say something, right? And then I will try to basically make a sum of all the numbers. That sum equal to 0, and then right, and we will alert that what is the sum. Right, this is basically what heavy task is doing whenever you click on this button. Let me run that. So as soon as I clicked on this, it started running this and then gives the output in the alert pop up, right? Now you will see one thing, like as soon as this task is not running, and if I I'm clicking on this continuously, it switches the color, right? Because the main thread is not blocked. And as soon as I click on this heavy task, the main thread is occupied calculating this sum. And when user try to click on change background color, because the main thread is occupied, it won't able to run this code, right? So the parallelism is not achieved actually over here, right? Let me show that. When I click on run heavy task, it is running, right? I clicked, and if I'm trying to click, it is not working unless the result is coming, right? So the result has come from heavy task, and then this background got changed, right? I hope you understand this. Now the idea is to achieve parallelism using web worker. So we will try to delegate this heavy task to the web worker, right? So that the user click on change background, the main thread is able to run that code, and the worker thread is actually running the heavy task for this, and then it returns the result, right? So let me create a worker, uh, new worker, and then we will give where is our worker file, right? Let me create this worker as well, right? So it basically works on two API, post message and on message. Post message basically, whatever you want to give to that worker, what parameter you want to give to that worker, right? So this heavy task is there. Let me comment it out for now, right? Whenever user click on heavy task button, it will come here, and then what we will do, worker dot post message. Basically, like we want to give this arguments over here, and then now this worker will receive this argument and do the heavy operations, right? So this worker will receive like on message, you can say self dot. So web worker won't have access to our window object, right? So that is why we are using self, or even if you don't use it, it will work because it's same as that. Let me use self, and then function, and here data, or maybe say let's say message, and here we will get the data is in message dot data. Okay, let me basically try to print what is there in the message, right? So now when I click on heavy task, basically this will be posted, and then it will be consoled here. All right, so let me open the console and show. So as soon as I click, you will see the message event is there, and then basically this data is there, right? So we are getting our arguments in data, right? So const data message dot data, right? And then this heavy operation, what we did, right? We will basically copy it and paste it over here, right? Now we are saying web worker to operate this heavy operation. This data is nothing but this. Once, so this will happen in parallel. Main thread will not calculate. This will be this heavy operation will be done by the web worker, and as soon as the sum is ready for this, we'll basically post this message, which is sum, to the one who is listening to this worker, right? And here the worker will be listening to this on message. We can basically add on error as well if in case there is any error, right? And the function, which is same as like it takes message, and then it gets the result in data, right? And basically we will alert this result, right? Let me show that. So basically now when I click on background, it works perfectly fine, right? But previously you saw when I clicked on heavy operation, the main thread was blocked, correct? Uh, Here you will say when I click on heavy task, it basically runs on the worker thread now, right? It won't affect the main thread. So even like if I click on heavy task, the other main thread is unblocked so that user still can be able to change the background. So I clicked on heavy task and then I'm trying to change the background. It is working fine. And as soon as we get the result, it will be popped up over here as per the code, whatever we have written, right? So basically now this heavy task is being delegated to web worker so that it does not block the main thread and actual parallelism is achieved over here. So that is how the web worker works, basically the purpose of web worker, so that the heavy task can be delegated to workers. And also if there is any error, we can have a error handle as well over here. I hope you were able to understand the purpose of web worker and why do we need this. Yeah, thank you. Uh, Now coming to the script file.